Hello, welcome to Body Zen Week 9. I really wonder how you're doing without carbs. For me personally, it is a bit difficult and I become really thin, a bit too thin. But I wonder how it's working for you. Now, this week is about old people. And old people can be very, very inspiring. And I'm talking about the blue zones. I don't know if you have heard about the blue zones, but the blue zones are 5 areas in the world where people become off the record significantly older and much healthier in a much more vibrant way than in the rest of the world. Now those 5 places are Icaria, which is an island in Greece, Sardinia, which is an island that belongs to France but is between Spain and Italy, Okinawa in Japan, and let me check my notes, Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, and Loma Linda in California. Now there's this guy, he is called Dan Butner, and he researched the blue zones, and he came to a few very interesting conclusions that, interestingly enough, are also, for 80% it's about Body Zen. But there's a few things to learn from the blue zones. Now, I will summarize for you the Power 9 of Dan Butner. This is the 9 lessons we can learn from the blue zones. And it starts with number 1, move naturally. What we do in Body Zen is to train light. Yeah, so you enjoy it and you will automatically take it to a higher level. People in the blue zones, they move naturally. So although they are old, they walk the stairs, they walk to their friend's home and stuff like that. So they do really light but everyday exercise. Yeah, move naturally, number 1. Number 2 is called purpose. Yeah, they call it in Japan, they call it ikigai, a reason for living. And in Costa Rica, they call it plan de vida, a life plan. Yeah, to have a purpose, to have a higher goal in life. To have a higher goal in life adds, this is quite amazing, it adds 7 years to your life expectancy. 7 years if you have a purpose. Great, right? Number 2, purpose. Number 3, to downshift. Yeah, so we all encounter stress in our lives. Now, the interesting thing is that stress only is bad for you when you define it that way, when you believe it is bad for you. Because stress is nothing more than being out of your comfort zone. So although you experience stress, to call it bad for your health, this is the next level. And this is where it becomes bad for your health. So as stress is not necessarily bad for you unless you define it so. So even people from the blue zones, they experience stress. But they downshift. Yeah? Downshifting is about taking it easy. Have a form of silence or meditation or whatever you want to call it. Number 3, downshift. Number 4, the 80% rule. In the blue zones, people eat up to 80%. Yeah, so eating up to 80% means there's always space left for dessert. This is new in the Body Zen training. So from now on, eating up to 80% is what is going to make you healthier, but also you will probably lose weight because of this. How do you learn to eat up to 80%? Because this involves some training. Well, first of all, when after dinner you have a puffy feeling, you make the sound you have eaten up to over 100%. So that is a sign that you've eaten too much. Now, how do you learn to eat up to 80%? Somewhere when you're eating, there is this thought, did I have enough? Just watch your thoughts. Whenever you have that thought, it's time to stop eating. And then you wait for 5 minutes. If after that you still feel like you want to eat, you can eat a bit more. Yeah, when you learn to recognize that thought, did I have enough? And that is the moment you don't feel full yet, but you wait for 5 minutes. And your stomach will be a bit fuller. If you had enough, you stop eating. Eating up to 80% is basically that there's always time left for dessert, even if you have eaten dessert. Number 4, the 80% rule. Number 5, plant scent. Most people in the blue zones have a plant-based diet. Vegetables are healthy, meat and fish, maybe a little bit if you really want it, but it's really not that healthy. And a lot of Japanese would say that's not true. You know, eating fish is healthy, but these days fish have a lot of heavy metals in them, and this is what you get into your body. So also eating fish is not that healthy. So the more plants, seeds and fruits you eat, the better you're doing it. And remember, from week 3, vary your food as much as possible. Okay? Number 5, plant scent. Number 6, wine at 5. Now, I'm not a daily drinker, so I don't do this, but it's funny that people in the blue zones that are extremely healthy and become off the record old, they drink, not everybody of course, but most of them, they drink at 5. They have a wine, 1 or 2 at 5. Which is also good for your social life, because they go out of the house, walk a few stairs, walk to the bar and have a wine at 5 with their friends. Remember, in this 3 months, don't mix alcohol with food. Okay, so that's number 6, wine at 5. Number 7, belong. So all but 5 of the 263 people of more than 100 years old that Dan interviewed belong to some community. Yeah, it can be anything. It can be religion. It can be your friends you play poker with. It doesn't really matter. But to belong to some group of people, social life, very important. Number 7, to belong. Number 8, loved ones first. It's very important to love your family and to stay in contact. And we in the West, we do kind of forget that sometimes, don't we? We put our parents and our grandparents in a home and they become a nuisance. One thing that I noticed when I was in Ikaria is that Ikaria in Greece, and I've made a video about an interview I did with Christina, who is 102 years old, and she wanted a kiss after the interview. It's amazing. You find it in the mail that you got in your email box. People in Ikaria, the older people, they were extremely proud of the fact that they became older. And this is something we can really learn something from, yeah? When somebody says to you next time, you know, like, hey man, you grew old, you should say, thank you, I'm so happy that I'm growing older. Be proud of the fact that you're growing older. This is a mindset thingy, you know. If you're proud of the fact that you're becoming older, you will look much younger. You will have a mental state that is much younger. Yeah, so, loved ones first, love your family, stay in contact, take care of the elder, and make sure you're proud yourself whenever you become older. Number 9, the last one, the right tribe. This is much like belong, you know. Have a few close friends that you share everything with. One of the things that Dan Butner researched is that solitude or loneliness is really something that makes you old and makes you die earlier. So even when you become older, and even when your friends are dying around you, this is my mother, she's 75 now, and she's losing friends, you know, like every month or something. That's really, really not nice, you know. But if you keep in contact with younger people and make sure you have your few good friends who you can share your experience with, you can express your feelings with, you'll be doing great. All right, so a few things we can learn from the blue zones. One very important thing, a new thing for us, is to eat up to 80%. Basically, if you learn to eat up to 80%, it's really very difficult to be overweight. Yeah, so this is something you want to teach yourself. This doesn't cost you any time, you know, it's just a process. Whenever you're eating, whenever you have that thought, did I have enough? Wait for 5 minutes. If you want more afterwards, you eat some. But make sure you don't eat too much. If you lie in bed and you have a bit of a feeling of hungry feeling, you're doing great. Then the other thing is the detoxing part. You know the theory of Body Zen: 80% detox at home and at work, live clean, 20% retox. Wine at 5. Can you imagine that people who are very healthy in a vibrant way and are more than 100 years old drink wine at 5? I think it's cool. I don't do it personally, but I think it's cool. So if you live according to these 9 things we learned from the Blue Zones, the Power 9, you add up 10 years to your life expectancy. The Blue Zones, and I have been inspired many years ago, is almost the same as we do in Body Zen. So make a quick connection. Body Zen adds 10 years to your life expectation, which is pretty good. What is more important, that you become older in a healthy and vibrant way with enough energy and happy hormones. Now, new this week is eating up to 80% and increasing the 5 Tibetan rides to 13 times. Yeah, then for another week, no carbs. After that, you can stuff yourself again. And that's new this week. So your daily ritual this week is looking like this. You wake up, drink a glass of baking soda, 2 minutes of arm twist, then either 13 times the Tibetan rides or 7 times the Tibetan rides and the grandma yoga, depending on what you prefer. Then you have a breakfast with as much fruits and nuts and seeds as possible. And ending your shower cold, of course. And drink as much green tea and water as possible. And before you go to bed, you drink a glass of water with baking soda again. That's it for this week. I wish you a great week, and I'll see you next week. Have lots of Body Zen. Bye.